Looking at David Avanesyan's career so far, obviously he's had a few losses. I'm curious, looking at those losses, have you studied them, and what have you learned from witnessing those performances?
Yeah, of course. You got to study. You got to study his wins as well as his losses, because, to be fair, I always judge people on the best performance. I never try and take them off what performance looks the worst version of them. So I try to study him more on his recent form and where he's at. I feel like there's plenty of chinks in the armour, and I can 100% sure in this fight. So and exploit. So I just can't wait to get in there on Saturday night.
As far as your last two performances, looking at Ray Robinson, tough fighter, tricky fighter, being a southpaw, Winston Campos, what did you learn from those fights, and is there any specific improvements that you're looking to show fans?
Oh, there's huge improvements being made from both fights. Robinson went really under the radar. I mean, he's got a majority draw against Kavalauskas, who knocked out David, or stopped him. So, and Robinson's really tricky, awkward, experienced southpaw with like a lot of range, and he knows how to get there. I mean, he's in camp with Jerome Ennis all the time, so them two guys there are top class. So I've took plenty of positives from that, and thinking that was nearly 2 years ago now. Maturity has went up another level, and I've learned a lot. I've gained a lot of experience from that fight. Huge.
Final question for me. I know, talking with Carl Graves, Avanesyan's trainer, just now, I asked him about where you rank on David's resume so far, and they put you lower on the list than some of the top names. Is this getting personal for you all the time, and things that have gone on in this time?
Not at all. Not for me. Not for me. Not personal at all. It's a job. It's a business. They might take it personal, and if they do, then they're gonna fall into a big trap, because emotions in the boxing ring shouldn't be there. It should just be all. But you got to leave the emotions outside the ring. So listen, I'm happy to taking it personal. I just put a smile on my face, go in and win on Saturday.
Sounds good. Thank you, Josh, and best of luck.
My man. Thank you, brother.
Thanks, Jeremy. If you go to Danny Flexen from Seconds Out next, please.
Hey, mate. How you doing?
What's happening, bro? You good?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
All good, my man.
Glad to hear it. This fight's been on again, off again. You've had to travel down from where your family are to work in Surrey with Adam Booth, of course.
Yeah.
And it's a growing young family as well. How hard has it been to leave them behind, particularly now you've got two kids rather than just the one?
Yeah, of course it's hard. I mean, I think people going to work on the morning, leaving the kids for a day. Sometimes they miss them going to work for one day. Do you know what I mean? But I've got to be honest, this fight is totally took focus off everything else. It's just I've been laser focused for this fight. When I've been in the gym, it feels like nothing else exists. So I've been living in a little flat down Surrey, next to the gym. So it's been perfect for me. I've just been switched in and switched off, sort of thing. So it's been a perfect camp.
And we had Carl Greaves on just before you. He said the main reason he can't see you beating his man is that you won't be able to deal with the intensity that David Avanesyan brings, that he'd be very surprised if you meet David head on. What do you make of those comments?
Well, them who don't know must feel, my friend. So I think you're going to feel that on Saturday. David will walk into some shots and think, I can't keep pressing him like this. And if he does, the better for me, because I've trained for the highest pressure fight of my career. I'm ready for the pressure. So the higher it turns out, the better it is for me. Got everything in my army to beat David on Saturday, and look spectacular doing it.
And have you done anything differently in preparation this time around? Because we saw the pictures of you, last week or the week before, looked in phenomenal shape. You always look in good shape, but that was another level, it seemed. What has changed, if anything?
Mindset, maturity, nutrition, everything. I've stepped up another level. Like, I went up another gear, found a different gear to everything. I mean, as the time elapsed between the first fight, what was ever meant to happen, and now. Done me good? Yes, of course it has. Has it done him good? I'm not sure. He's boxed Kerman Laraga, who's looked green at the weight twice and was beating him the first time, got stopped, and he's beat the sort of a guy who just couldn't lay it down. I mean, that's for me, but I'm expecting the hardest fight in my life, so bring Saturday on, man.
Great stuff. Well, good luck.
Man, thank you, brother.
Thanks, Danny. If we go to Declan Taylor from The Independent next, please.
Hi, Josh. How are you, mate?
Yes, all good, bro. All good.
Good. Just picking up on what you were saying there about your setup now down in your flat by the gym. How long have you been sort of in there? Maybe since the pandemic started, but nearly a year ago. How long have you been up here or down here, as it were?
So I moved into the flat near enough September time. After everything really got moving and everyone got back in the gym, etc. I was traveling to the gym a lot before that, and then moved in from there. So just basically locked in really from then. So it's been laser focused. So I can't say I haven't left any stone unturned.
Was it nice before that, spending a bit of time with your boys and your missus and stuff, and not being a bachelor for a bit?
Yeah. It felt like you didn't have anything on your mind, like you didn't have any. Obviously, it was hard because I was probably in the best shape of my life previously going into that fight. We got pulled in March, so in the main pandemic. So it was hard for me. It was sort of like I had to sort of grieve over it in a sense because I'd put all that work in. And obviously, it went down the pan again, but. No fault of my own this time. So this time around, it feels like I've achieved a lot and I've went up another level. I didn't think I would be able to, but from the last camp, because that camp went so perfect. But this time, it's sort of God's blessed this, and I feel like I'm ready to take on this challenge massively.
And can you just talk a little bit about what your days and weeks look like in camp? Because obviously it's normally a pretty sort of lonely and obviously one-sided existence, but during a lockdown, it's even more so. What you sort of doing in your time out of the gym?
Mate, you just got to keep yourself busy. I managed to invest in a PS5, so I managed to get one of them. Take myself off that. Go for some walks, switch off. Just basically sort of find more out about yourself. That's what I did. It suited me down to the ground.
Feel like you've grown up a lot in this camp in particular.
100%, massively. I think a lot of people. I was the youngest to turn over out of anybody from the Olympics or out of the Team GB. So I was 20. I forgot I was 21 or 22. I'm only 26 now. So I mean, I've still got a lot of maturing to do, but I feel like this time in camp, physically, you can see I've matured mentally. I've matured, and everything's sort of coming into its sort of prime few years now.
Just last one. I just asked Carl whether he thought that you'd be a better fighter or a different fighter now than you were back in December 2018 when the first fight was supposed to happen. He said probably not really. I'm guessing you feel a lot different.
That's all that needs to be said. That's lovely work. I haven't changed whatsoever, so keep it like that.
You've got a Guinness on the go there, Josh.
Well, mate, Irish coffee. It's the way forward.
Nice one. Cheers. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, brother. Cheers.
Thanks, Tech. If we go to Matt from Behind the Gloves next, please.
Hey, Josh. Thanks for joining us.
You all right, mate?
It's been a long time coming, this fight. It seems to have been talked about forever. The fact that it's been pushed back so many times, is it difficult to stay disciplined and stay focused while there's that obviously disappointment of it falling through?
During the first lockdown, I'd say it was harder because of just it was so full on. Like we didn't know when we were coming out, so it was sort of like, what's happened there? Like we've lost everything, we lost all the momentum. But going into the second half of the year, I just switched my mind on and went, listen, you've got to, the fight's here, the fight's there to be took, you know what I mean? So just get into camp and get yourself ready. So that's what I did, and that's what I have done since.
You recently, I've seen in an online interview, you said that you're the underdog and you enjoy being the underdog. This fight. Does that give you extra motivation, the fact that you feel like you could prove a lot of people wrong?
There's always motivation in proving people wrong. I've always got a point to prove. Like I love proving people wrong. I just love it. But at the end of the day, I go in there with one thing in mind, one thing in mind only, all the time, is to win and be the best I can be in there, and just come out, me and him come out healthy and safe and go back to our families healthy and safe, and that's obviously the main thing for everything. But I know on Saturday I'll be walking away with that European title. It's been it's been a good camp.
Final one from me, Josh, just before you go. Right now, welterweight division is red hot this year. Everyone's hoping we get to see the likes of Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford. Who do you believe is the number one welterweight in the world right now, currently?
Crawford. Yeah, Crawford, bro. Yeah, I think he's got a lot of good attributes, and the fact that he can box is good in southpaw, he's kind of an orthodox position. I feel like he's a threat to a lot of boxers. Yeah.
Good luck for Saturday, Josh. Appreciate it.
Man, thank you, bro.
Thanks, Matt. If we go to James Lupton from Pro Boxing Fans next, please.
Just you right. In terms of this fight, obviously, it's been a long time in the making. The first fight, when that was originally announced, Avanesyan was coming off a loss. Now he's coming back from 3 stoppage wins. You don't sound too impressed by those wins. But for him, his confidence should be high. Does that make him more dangerous?
On Saturday night, no, but in mindset, it could be. I mean, it could be his downfall as well, thinking that he's going to be able to walk through it, which is not be the case, because I'm a lot bigger and I'm a lot stronger than he thinks. I'm a big 147, so when I get in there, I think he'll feel it. So, yeah.
With yourself, your name is always linked with Conor Ben, also recently Kell Brook. With these carrots being dangled in front of yourself, does that add more pressure to you going forward?
No, not at all, mate. End of the day, going throughout history, there's been someone's got to win and someone's got to lose, and if it be a football, tennis, boxing, rugby, whatever it is. So it is what it is. Just got to get through one fight at a time and win this one.
Top man, best of luck. Cheers, mate.
My man, thank you, mate.
Thanks, James. Go to Ron Lewis from Boxing Scene next, please.
Hi, Josh. Liking the beard, by the way. I take it that's coming off for Saturday, is it?
I'm not too sure. I might just leave it. I look a bit more angry with a beard on, so.
Obviously, when you turn pro, I mean, it's part of being in the sort of like Matchroom sort of Sky thing that there was a lot of hype and a lot of talk about you. How did you sort of cope with that? Because you were sort of a young lad then, and people were already chucking titles of future world champion at you when you hardly laced up some gloves as a pro. How did you cope with that, and has it got easier over time?
It's got a lot easier over time. At the start, like you said, you're just a kid, and you're thinking, oh my God, look at this, look at that. Who's coming to that? Who's coming to this and this. But as you get older, you realise that nothing of that really matters. It matters what you do in the ring. Nothing really matters. No talking, no nothing. Just like it only matters what you do inside that ring. So I don't really take a lot of the compliments to heart. I don't take none of the negatives to heart. I just try and sail through neutral. So a lot of what people say, as you get more experience, you look at it and you see through it. The people who talk more have got more. You sort of cipher through and you find out what they start dropping some shit there now and again. Do you know what I mean? So you can see through it. So the more you talk, the more you just end up throwing yourself under the bus. So I just like to let people talk and let people do their thing, and I'll get through it.
Was that something you used to struggle with, though? Obviously, not just as a young pro, but in the amateurs as well. When you burst onto the scene and you were off the team for a bit and that sort of thing. Was people talking about you something you took getting used to? Say.
I don't know, mate. I'm mature. I'm a lot more mature now. I've turned into a man. Like, I've got 2 kids, got a family. You know what's priorities, you know what's not. As a kid, you just, especially going up from something, you just burst on the scene and everything's mad, and you're just like, whoa, what's this all about? But now I'm settled down, I'm married. I've got future goals. I've got short-term goals, got long-term goals. So I just need to focus on that and keep myself as happy as I can.
This fight, though, will stick you in a pretty, elevated position in the rankings. Do you ever talk about beyond this 2 or 3 fights you might be in with a Crawford or a Spence or something like that?
100%, mate. I've got goals and I'll speak them freely. I feel like I can 100%. I feel like I will beat Avanesyan, and then the next fight after that will be Will and Conor Ben, and then after that I think it'll be a big one at the end of the year. But I will win this fight, and then I will beat the next fighter, the next opponent, and follow up with a big fight at the end of the year. That's my belief, anyways.
Excellent. Take care, Josh. Speak to you soon.
My man, thank you, bro.
Thanks, Ron. If we go to Steve from Boxing UK, please.
Hi, Josh. It's Steve from Boxing UK.
What's happening, mate?
Hello, mate. Live from Grindon here.
Oh, yeah.
Hello, mate. Josh, since the first cancellation, you've had a lot of flack and accusations thrown your way. Have you taken them personally, and will it make Saturday any sweeter if you do the business?
Of course, it'll make it sweeter, but I've never taken anything personal through boxing, because when it's all said and done, everyone normally hugs it out and all that anyway. So to be honest with me, it's back and forth, and nothing really matters until we get in there Saturday. Like, of course it builds the fight, and of course you get people interested, but until we trade punches on Saturday, nothing matters.
And you've talked about your goals, mate, and you're on about Conor Benn next. Is one of the goals sooner rather than later to come up here and have a fight at the Stadium of Light? Yeah,
that's the next. I think that will be the next fight. If I can fight in the Stadium of Light, that would be, if the crowds are back, I'll get there next.
Good man. Best of luck on Saturday, Josh.
Thank you, mate.
Thanks, Steve. If we go to Davinder from the Boxing Voice next, please.
Hey, Josh, how's it going? You okay?
All good, mate. All good.
Good stuff. Just a couple of questions from me. First of all, Conor Benn, your name being linked with him. Clearly, you focused on David Avanesyan on Saturday night. In regards to beating David Avanesyan, first of all, what kind of weaknesses do you see in him that you can exploit? How do you beat him?
Well, if I told you that, I'd be telling you everything, wouldn't I? Letting everyone know. I feel as though I'm going to stop David. Everyone's going to be shocked when I say that, but I'm punching harder than ever, so I'm going in there to stop David on Saturday.
And just on Conor Benn as well, did you see his performance against Formella, and how much did you rate that performance?
Yeah, he did what he needed to do against a tough graded opponent, so well done.
Good stuff. Hopefully that fight happens soon.
Yeah, man, 100%. It's got to.
Good stuff. Thanks a lot, Josh.
Cheers, mate.
Okay, go to Ames from Boxing News TV next, please.
Ames from Boxing News TV. Pleasure to meet you, Josh. How you doing?
You all right, mate? All good.
Yeah, I'm not too bad. I'm not too bad. Look, you are considered to have like a bright future in the sport, but the time that the fight was first announced, the delay and the fight now finally being on, domestically, your rivals have been in the ring and have taken some of the spotlight from you. Conor Benn sparkled in his last performance. Chris Congo claimed the title in a good fight and is in another good fight with McKinson. Likewise, McKinson is putting himself in the same position to get that shot. Looking at the domestic scene and your rivals there, do you put yourself back on the top of the pack in the eyes of the fans with a win against David and get the spotlight back on yourself?
I'll put myself there now anyways, but it doesn't matter if the win will obviously consolidate that. I'll be European champion and I'll be above domestic level, but me personally, I believe I'm at the top of the pile anyways, as it is. You know what I mean? I'm improving all the time. I'm improving all the time. I'm the fights I'm taking the big fights and not like any sort of little steps in right directions. These are big fights. I mean, the Robinson fight, I don't think people really grasped how big that fight was. Like Madison Square Gardens, 10th fight against a pro like that who drew against Kavaliauskas and was on the wrong end of the draw, and see what Kavaliauskas did to Avanesyan and Crawford and performed well. So I mean, it speaks for itself. I feel like I am there, but if this win means then people will start putting us on top again, then they might as well, they've got to put us on top. So
I think in the midst of what's happened with the delay, the back and forth with Neil Marsh, Adam Booth and that, like looking at the reaction from some of the fans, there's been some angst towards like your side of the team because of that delay. But I wanted to know if you think like fans might be underappreciating the fact that you're going up against what would be seen as the toughest opponent compared to your domestic rivals' opponents' names today. Do you see that? Do you feel that underappreciation?
Well, yeah, but like I said previously, I think that you've got to just, in this boxing game, you'll be loved one day and you'll be hated the next, like everyone says. So, or you can be hated one day and you'll be loved the next. So you can't be taking nothing to heart. You got to just ride the wave, as they say, and keep yourself focused on your craft. Like, just don't be thinking about what this man's saying, that man's saying, or this guy or that guy there. Just go into the gym, get your stuff done. As long as you're improving and making strides in the gym, then it should show out in the fight.
Is the inactivity like finally behind you now?
I mean, I think the inactivity was probably, it's been due to COVID, really, to be fair. But I thought December was ready to fight March, so I was going to be fighting March, then straight back in June, July time. So obviously that prolonged it, the COVID, and then this is the first fight since that. So if you think of things, it's been more to do with the COVID than the situation myself. I really wanted to hold out to try and see if there's any crowds coming back, but there hasn't been, so just got to get it on.
And look, I appreciate this won't be in your mind, but I would like to ask, what does a loss mean for you?
I won't lose.
Appreciate it, Josh. All the best of the weekend.
Man. Thank you, bro.
No worries.
Okay, I'll just give it one moment in case we get any final questions for Josh. Just a reminder, any more questions, just drop me a message.
Dan, I've actually got one quick one if you can.
Yeah, Dec, could we just, we'll finish on you, mate. So Josh, after this one, mate, we'll let you get off, all right? Really appreciate your time.
Sweet. I just wanted to ask about the obviously boxing in front of nobody.
Yeah.
How are you planning on dealing with that? We saw what happened to Josh Warrington at the weekend. How do you combat that? How do you even go about trying to think about what that's going to be like?
We've done a lot to emulate that. So I've done a lot to emulate that. Yeah, done a lot to emulate it because. See, the thing is, with a crowd, it can either give you energy or draw you energy. Either one, it can have a negative or positive effect depending on which way the crowd swings in the fight, and if you let that get you. So, I mean, I think personally, David's a crowd fighter. I think he likes to go against a big crowd and silence them. And I'm going over to the Raga's place and everything else. I think he loves it. I think he does really love a good crowd there and get that sort of energy behind him as he tries to push forward. But with me, I feel like I'm boxing anyway, but we have done a lot of emulation in the gym. So
how have you emulated that?
Well, that's a secret. We can't let that one out. Do you know what I mean? Nah, we've done a lot of prep. So I just can't wait, man. Saturday can't come quick enough. See, the thing is, with me, fight week's a drag, but then the best part, Friday and Saturday, just flies by. So it's like, what can you do? Do you know what I mean? I want to enjoy the fight night in the build up the fight night, but I cannot really. I've got the fight week to get through, so it's like fight week. I enjoyed I want the fight night to last forever, so I can't wait to get in there Saturday. Need to get in there Saturday.
Thanks again, nice one.
My man.
Brilliant. Really appreciate your time, Josh. Some great answers there.